Hello dear viewers. Today's story tells the touching journey of Ly Tu Diem and her husband, CEO Toan, as she overcomes a life-threatening surgery to bring a healthy baby boy into the world. Love, faith, and family strength helped them conquer every hardship, opening a new beginning full of hope and peace. If you enjoy heartfelt stories like this, please hit subscribe so you won't miss our upcoming videos. Thank you for always being with us on this journey. Ly Tu Diem was 8 months pregnant, her belly round and firm. Each little kick from the baby inside made her smile every morning. She and Toan, her husband, a busy CEO with the softest gaze that always made her feel cherished, were living in what felt like the happiest time of their lives. They had prepared everything for their little angel, a cream-colored nursery with wooden toys, a crib by the window with sheer curtains, and stacks of fairy tale books Toan had loved as a child, now ready to read to his son. But life is never just rosy. During a routine prenatal checkup, Diem was asked to undergo additional tests due to some abnormal blood work. She didn't think much of it and still held Toan's hand while walking through the hospital halls, even joking, "Maybe your son is too mischievous, he's messing up all my hormones." But that afternoon, the doctor called urgently and requested they return immediately. In the waiting room, Diem gripped Toan's hand so tightly her knuckles turned white. Toan, a man who had faced multi-million-dollar deals and ruthless boardrooms, instantly knew something was terribly wrong. The diagnosis hit them like a bolt of lightning. Diem had developed a rare autoimmune condition. If she delivered the baby naturally or even by C-section at this stage, the risk of death for either mother or child was dangerously high. The lead obstetrician, with a calm voice and somber eyes, delivered the verdict. "We're truly sorry, but in this situation, you may only be able to save one, either the mother or the baby." The words shattered them. Diem sat in silence, eyes staring blankly into space. Toan, the man who had always found a solution, always taken control, now felt powerless. He didn't know how to respond, didn't know how to look his wife in the eyes, and had no idea how to choose between the two people he loved most in the world. That night, Diem lay on her side in their bedroom, gently rubbing her belly, whispering to the baby still moving inside her. She didn't cry. She just smiled faintly, as if accepting whatever fate had in store. Toan sat beside her, head bowed, hands clenched in his lap. The room was thick with silence, but the pain in their hearts was deafening. In that moment, they both knew things would never be simple again. They were no longer just preparing to welcome a child, they were preparing to fight for hope, for love, and for the lives hanging in fragile balance between two worlds. The days following the devastating news felt like the world had collapsed for Toan and his wife. He, a strong CEO, known for navigating fierce battles in the business world, was now just a silent man, pacing the hospital hallways. He couldn't sit still, nor could he accept any of the options presented by the doctors. Every morning, he woke up with only one thought: I must save both of them. There's no room for sacrifice. Toan began a desperate search. He made calls to top hospitals around the world, contacted specialists in the US, Singapore, Japan. There was no place he didn't try. Executive meetings were postponed indefinitely. Even his personal assistant couldn't reach him outside hospital hours. He buried himself in his wife's medical records, reading every diagnosis, every report, even though he wasn't a doctor. Meanwhile, Ly Tu Diem chose a different path. She stayed quiet. Every morning, she caressed her belly, smiled at her unborn son, and began to write. A journal, also a farewell letter, for the child she might never meet. In it, she wrote about the love between her and his father, about their first kiss under the flowering tree that spring, about how Toan had sat for hours learning to knit just to gift her a small wool hat that winter. She wrote, "I've never once regretted loving your father. And if I cannot be there when you open your eyes to this world, please live your life for me. Live knowing you were deeply loved from the first heartbeat." One rainy night, Diem leaned her head on Toan's shoulder in the dimly lit hospital room. She spoke softly. "If the time comes and only one of us can survive, please, let it be the baby. Even if I'm gone, he'll carry my heart and all the love I leave behind." Toan froze, unable to believe how calmly she said it. His heart felt like it was being torn apart. He gripped her hand tightly and shook his head. "No. I refuse to choose. I won't choose you. I won't choose him. I choose both of you. I will find a way, no matter what it takes." The next morning, a glimmer of hope emerged. A Japanese specialist, Dr. Nakamura, responded to Toan's desperate email. After reviewing the records and scans, the doctor explained that there was a high-risk treatment protocol recently developed in Tokyo. The chances weren't high, but it might save both mother and child. He was willing to fly to Vietnam and attempt it if the hospital approved. It was as if Toan had awakened from a nightmare. He immediately called for an emergency medical board meeting to request permission to bring Dr. Nakamura into the case. Legalities, permits, protocols, he pushed through everything within 48 hours. Leveraging every bit of power and influence he had. That evening, when Dr. Nakamura walked into the hospital room, Toan gently hugged Diem from behind and whispered, "You don't have to choose anymore. I've found the way. Just believe in me, like you always have." Tears welled in Diem's eyes. She had never seen Toan look so exhausted, dark circles under his eyes, wrinkled shirt, weary shoulders, but his gaze was still the same as the first time they met, burning with determination and unwavering love. In that moment, they didn't need any more promises. No more words. Just two hearts, beating in unison, waiting for a miracle to come true. The entire hospital seemed to hold its breath. Every step taken by Dr. Nakamura and his team echoed through the long, silent corridor, marking the critical moment between life and death. On the pristine white bed, Ly Tu Diem closed her eyes, her hand tightly holding Toan's, her husband who had never left her side. He leaned close to her ear, whispering like a prayer. "Stay strong, just like you always have. Both I and our baby are waiting for you to come back. The whole world is waiting for you." The surgery lasted over 5 hours. Outside, Toan stood motionless, eyes fixed on the operating room door. Inside him raged an unbearable conflict between faith and fear, hope and abyss. His younger sister, Ly Tu Diem, was also there, gripping his hand as if to lend him strength. She said nothing, just stood beside him like an unyielding wall. Exactly 5 hours later, the operating room lights went off. Dr. Nakamura stepped out, still wearing his mask. No one spoke, no one breathed, no one moved. Then, he gave a slight nod. "Both mother and baby are stable." Toan collapsed, tears streaming uncontrollably down his face. For the first time in his life, a man who had faced countless brutal battles in the business world broke down because of overwhelming good news. He didn't know what to say except, "Thank God. Thank you for not leaving me." When Diem woke up in the recovery room, the dim light softly illuminated her pale but peaceful face. She opened her eyes and immediately met Toan's gaze. His eyes, filled with tears yet shining brightly. "I'm still alive, and the baby?" she weakly asked. "A baby boy. He's very healthy, lying in the incubator." "You did it, Diem," Toan choked up. Tears rolled down Diem's cheeks. Not from pain, not from exhaustion, but from happiness, something that had seemed so far away during those desperate days, now clearly present before her. A few days later, when Diem was well enough to hold her son for the first time, she trembled as she cradled the tiny newborn in her arms. The baby grimaced, his eyes slowly opening and then grasping her finger. In that moment, her heart exploded with joy. "He looks so much like you, those eyes, even the eyebrows," she smiled, looking at Toan. "And he has your resilience too." Toan gently placed his hand on her shoulder and kissed her forehead. The day they were discharged, reporters crowded outside the hospital gates. But Toan didn't answer any questions. He carried the baby, helped Diem into the car, leaving behind only a brief statement to the cameras. "Our family has been born anew. Please let us live like normal people." On the ride home, Diem leaned on her husband's shoulder, the baby peacefully sleeping in her arms. The sky that day was clear and blue without a single cloud. The three of them, a new beginning, peaceful and full of love.